There are stories that begin with battles, and there are stories that begin with maps, crowns, and prophecies. But this story, perhaps the greatest of them all, begins quietly, in a green land where nothing much ever happens, a place called the Shire. Here, people measured wealth not in gold, but in comfort, in meals shared, in days that ended exactly as they began, peacefully. They lived for the simple joys of life, disconnected from the turmoils of the world outside. In one such home lived Frodo Baggins. He was not a hero, he was not ambitious, he did not dream of adventure. Frodo loved the safety of routine, the warmth of hearth fires, and the certainty that tomorrow would look much like today. And in another story, that would have been enough. He was a collector of tales, a man of peace, content to let the world pass him by. But fate does not ask permission. Frodo inherited a ring from his uncle Bilbo, small, golden, easily forgotten, and yet it carried a weight that bent the world around it. This ring had passed through hands of kings and killers. It had witnessed centuries of blood and fire, and now it rested quietly in the palm of a hobbit. The gold was cold, but the power within it was beginning to stir, sensing its master. A darkness was reaching out from the east, ancient and hungry, searching for what was lost. When Gandalf the Grey returned, the truth followed him like thunder behind a storm. This was the One Ring, forged by the Dark Lord Sauron, not to rule lands, but to rule wills, to dominate every other ring, and every soul bound to them. And Sauron was no longer a memory. He was awake, and he was searching. The shadow of Mordor was lengthening, and the reach of the enemy was growing by the hour. He told Frodo of the ancient war, of the greed of men, and the resilience of the unlikely. Frodo stood at a crossroads no one should face alone, stay, and risk the destruction of everything he loved, or leave and carry the danger himself. Courage rarely feels heroic in the moment. More often it feels like fear, with no other choice. And so, Frodo stepped beyond his door. The Shire faded behind him, and Middle-earth opened ahead, a journey that would change him forever. He walked with a heavy heart, leaving behind the only home he had ever known for a world of shadows. But he would not go alone, for in the Shire, loyalty is as deep as the roots of the oldest trees. They stepped into the silence of the evening, the air thick with the mystery of what lay beyond. The mountains whispered of old secrets and forgotten dangers that waited for their approach. The quest had begun, a small ripple in the great ocean of time that would soon become a tide. Middle-earth was vast and unforgiving, a place where legends were forged and heroes were made. And so the Fellowship of the Ring began its long and perilous journey into the heart of darkness.